Hey everybody, welcome to Sexy Nerd Science Season 5, Episode 2. I'm here with Josh and Dale, as always.
Hello there.
Greetings.
We got a great show, as always, lined up for you. But first, I guess some merch news, we'll call it.
It's not even backed by popular demand. It's just by popular
demand. We had tons and tons of people who were extremely happy of the promo that we did, that they requested shirts. So because you guys asked for it, we deliver. You guys can get Hey Everybody t-shirts on teespring.com /SexyNerdScience. Is that our URL? We should have talked about this before.
No, yeah, I haven't actually made the thing yet. So it is teespring.com. I don't know exactly what it'll be. Hey, everybody, or something.
We have a Sexy Nerd Science page, though.
So if you go to teespring.com, search Sexy Nerd Science, that's where our stuff pulls up anyways.
Yeah, so, it's tagged Sexy Nerd Science, but we will have a link in SoundCloud, YouTube, anywhere you can find us.
And
all over Facebook.
Yeah, and definitely all over Facebook. That's going to be our bread and butter. But because everybody, I'm going to butter your bread. So just because...
I'll show you where the wild goose goes.
Damn, Dale. That's a good deep voice you got there. So just because everybody was kind of instrumental in requesting this, we're also going to give you guys a 10% off code if you listen to the show.
Is it free shipping or is it 10% off?
Oh yeah.
What do you want it to be?
What do you want?
Right now it's free shipping.
Okay,
so let's just do free shipping.
Yeah. So if you guys use the coupon code everybody, when you guys check out, you get free shipping on all of your merch that you basically ordered that day. You guys can get the regular Sexy Nerd Science t-shirts. You can get Hey Everybody t-shirts.
Hoodies.
Also, you can get hoodies, pillows, bath towels. I don't know.
We don't have bath towels.
I don't know if they do bath towels.
I think coffee mugs, though, is on there now.
Coffee mugs.
I saw.
There's tons of stuff you guys can get from Teespring, and we'll make that available to you guys there.
We'll even get Hey Everybody mugs. Oh my god!
Oh my god!
Hey Everybody,
get a Hey Everybody mug.
Oh, geez.
So like I said, use that coupon code everybody at checkout, and you guys will get that free shipping on your entire order.
Dale's gonna have the coupon code right at the bottom of the video.
Right,
yeah,
right here. Right above my microphone stand.
You know, it's gonna be right on your penis.
Oh yeah.
It's just gonna rise up and say everybody.
It's gonna be just.
Can you do this thing like it like stands up and then plops over?
Dale can do anything he wants to in this Da Vinci software.
Also, I just want to let you know.
I'm not spending that much time on this, so no.
Okay. So like I said, use that everybody coupon code, get 10 or get free shipping on your order, and buy a bunch of stuff from us.
That bunch of stuff is going to help things going on, like getting to the auto show and going to different conventions. What are you talking about
getting to the auto show? You drive a Tesla. You don't need help getting to the auto show.
I need food.
Well, I can give you my...
No,
wallet.
Don't even... Yeah. It's like, don't say this on the podcast.
But yeah, so speaking of the auto show, the North American International Auto Show that is in Detroit this next coming week, starting, is it Monday? Is it starting Monday?
It started like a week and a half ago.
The press is available right now.
Okay.
It's open to the public Monday, I believe, is the first day. So Friday. Starting after the podcast.
Yeah. So basically after you guys listen to this, you guys will be able to go to the North American International Auto Show, which is something that the guys have gone to last year and this year. We're going to try and make it a staple because we all like cars. We all like fancy schmancy stuff. So we're going to get into it.
Check out our video from last year too, by the way. We've got some awesome footage.
Tons and tons of really good angles and stuff. Dale, was that the first place you got to test out your gimbal?
Yeah, first place I got to test out the gimbal, and first time I really had any experience with figuring out shots and stuff like that. So,
are you guys gonna double gimbal?
We'll have both our gimbals, so we can actually bring them both to the convention, and we can also. I love the city of Detroit, and I want to highlight it more every time we go. Like, there's just something beautiful that's going on. I'm sure there's something that's going to be going on.
You know what's going to be really beautiful
that weekend? That weekend.
Yeah, the auto show.
No, you know what's going to be really, really beautiful? Double gimbal. Wow.
That was a double rainbow joke.
Yeah, it was a double rainbow. Dale, did you know what double rainbow was?
Yes, I know what double rainbow is. I made a catch me outside joke to Tasha the other day, and she made fun of me because it was so old.
I mean, that girl is like 17 now, so super old.
She was 17 then, wasn't she?
Oh, she was like 15 then or 14. Like that was the whole craziest thing is she wasn't even like
An adult or
she was like barely a teen. So some of the things that we're looking for or looking to talk about at the NAIAS is a couple of different specific cars, and then obviously Josh wants to talk electric cars while he's there, or look at a lot of the electric cars while he's there.
There's only going to be like the Bolt and
the Catch Me Outside girl is today 15 years old.
What?
Yeah.
I think she was like 12 when it came out.
Yeah. Today she was born in 2003. No, it's March.
Oh,
so March she'll be 16.
Okay,
isn't that fucking ridiculous?
I think she just got a car too, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, because she bought a car for her mom to drive her around in because she couldn't. Like,
I thought she got a car with her face put on it. Like, recently.
I don't know. Let's Google it.
No, we don't need to Google it. I was like, I'll talk more about the auto show while you guys Google if that's fine. But
is that my pop culture literacy?
No, not at all.
Question.
It actually almost was going to be something along those lines because that's what my girlfriend wanted me to ask you. But so at the International Auto Show, there's going to be great things there. There was Fisker had their Karma 2 was there last year. I'd like to see that actually on the main floor. They had like the Fisker just tucked away, like because it wasn't obviously one of like the big brand cars, just tucked away on the side. I'd like to see more of that to see if Fisker has anything there. But I mean, there are going to be tons of electric cars there. I mean, who was it? Mercedes had a really nice concept car there that I'd love to get more pictures. I mean, it was a fully electric concept car. But I'd like to actually see some of these cars that are going to be electric and in production. So I'd love to see if they're doing anything different with the Chevy Bolt. I doubt it. But it would be nice to see that.
I heard that's getting a facelift. It's going to have
I see a lot of like YouTube videos when they talk about the Chevy Bolt, and it's always the most unpopular electric car.
Yeah.
Because it's an electric car. It works great. Has a lot of cool features, but no one likes the way it looks.
Yeah. I'd like to see the Hyundai's going to have an electric car, the Quinoa or the Kino. I can't remember what it's called now.
Quinoa.
It's not quinoa. I was just joking around there.
Oh, God.
But it's going to be they've got an electric car that's going to look pretty nice. But Nissan's going to have some things in there. Toyota's probably going to have some things. Dale gave me kind of a research project on things to look up for before the North American Auto Show. And those are kind of the things that I've been really looking into, getting excited about. For those of you classic car that really like the fun, nice-looking cars, so obviously Alfa Romeo is going to be there.
You're talking about like classy
cars. Yeah, classy cars. I don't think they're going to have – I think Alfa Romeo is probably going to be the only Italian one. Oh, good. Dale's got the map pulled up all the way. So do we see –
I can't zoom in.
Is Gungshow Automotive Group going to be there?
GAC. It should be right. Where was it? I remember looking at this the other day.
Yeah, but GAC is right across from GMC. So same spot it was in last year. So that's going to be very interesting to see. Yeah, we're still a little further away. So like over in the corner is going to have Toyota, Kia, things like that.
That Toyota corner, you guys are going to have to.
It's going to be huge.
Look there. So a couple things about the NAIAS. The North American Auto Show is this is to be the last year that they're in a winter schedule, I suppose. Next year they're switching to a summer schedule, which is pretty prime for us because with Josh,
con schedule.
it's right in the middle of the con schedule, yes, but also I mean it's going to be easier for Josh to travel as far as like. He won't have school next year anyway. So, hopefully.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, on the Tesla, it's better. You got less cold on the battery and all that stuff.
They've put 4 superchargers now on the route in between. So there's one in Shelby, Iowa, just opened up, and then there's a couple on the Iowa Des Moines side, like just past Des Moines. So it's getting even better now. I might have to stop more frequently, but I'll stop for a lot less time. So overall, the trip should increase in speed because I can stay at a higher rate of speed and then just plug back in more frequently. So that'll be awesome. I'm excited for that. And in cold days like today, I shouldn't have to worry about
a lot of leg room,
how far I can get,
or a lot of leg stretching. So that'll be really neat. And then also, like I said earlier, a couple cars we're looking for, and one I'm excited about is the 2020 Toyota Supra. Dale was kind of just saying he didn't know much about it, but he saw it all over the internet, and Dale is with good reason. Toyota Supra, Josh, do you know much about? I mean,
I do. I mean, it's so basically you've got some, so this could have also been in nerdy news while we're talking about it, because there are a lot of car nerds. And you know, you got your Subaru gang that love themselves, the Subarus, the Subies. Yeah. So and then the Toyota Supra is kind of, you know, it was one of those rally cars.
It's the grail car of basically street racing, sort of. I mean, featured in the first Fast and the Furious movie. It's the car, I don't know if you're familiar, it's the car that they pick up for really cheap and fix up because it has a 2JZ engine in it. It's basically the 2JZ engine is, or the 2ZJ engine is the.
I was like, is that a rapper?
I was like, 2JZs. It's got 2 Hovas in it.
No. So the 2ZJ engine is a crazy mod car because it's a completely cast iron block, so it holds a lot of it can take a lot of basically damage, but it's also super easy to put turbo onto. It's basically plug and play for a lot of different upgrades and mods to your car. At least that's what it was back then. I think they're doing a different style of engine in this one, if I remember correctly from what I was reading, but it's still going to kind of hold the 2ZJ platform. So the 2ZJ is like an inline 6 motor, but all around it's a super sweet car.
And the reason why a lot of people like them is because they were very rare for a long time. You couldn't get them for a while in the United States.
Well, and but the Supra is just it's a step up from a Celica, you know. So I mean, you had the Celica, then the Celica GT, and then the Celica Supra, and then once they figured out that the Supra had its basically own following, they jumped to just having the Supra be. So they only had the Celica and the Celica GT, and then the Supra was its own car, didn't hold the Celica badge at all.
Yeah.
But the Supra's never been illegal in the United States,
No.
which is the craziest thing about it, is because it can beat almost. I mean, it can match at least performance with the GTRs or the R35s and the R32s, but never. I mean, it was never illegal, so people had them and beat the shit out of them, and now they're very few and far between because they were grails, but they weren't like the Holy Grail because they weren't ever something that you had to be careful about or anything like that.
So real quick, the Toyota Supra, the 3.0 model, is showing a cost of $55,250. Base price is $49,990. So it's definitely they actually say it's a Tesla competitor. Why they mark Tesla? Probably the price.
It's price point, yeah.
Price and speed, I'd say, honestly.
Yep.
I mean, obviously your Teslas aren't going to be as fast, on a quarter-mile track or something like that. You know, once it gets out there longer distances, you're going to really start winning on a lot of these cars. But that 0 to 60 time is really what Tesla's bread and butter is.
So this is the I'm going to read you the difference in engines and whatnot for, the stats, if you will. This is the 2019 Toyota Supra, versus the 1993 Toyota Supra. 3.0 engine, 335 horsepower versus 320. What did you say?
Sorry, what are they saying the engine type is in the 19?
In the 19, an 8-speed auto.
No, but I guess what are they saying it's compatible like 2ZJ model or?
I don't see any information on that. So I don't know. Inline 6.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's it says i6, but it's an 8-speed auto, so it's definitely
It's a 2JZ.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So right? You guys looked at me crazy.
Yeah.
It's a 2JZ GTE.
Neither Dale and I are like car motor guys. Like
Nope.
I don't know. You could tell me it's a Hemi, and I'd believe you.
I mean, I work at Ford, but it's still like a mystery of world out there.
We'd need Daniel on here for any
Daniel. He never wants to be on though. Every time he's over and we're about to record, I'm like, hey, let's get you on. But let's move on, guys. Toyota Supra is
Shelby Mustang.
Yeah. Let's talk about that one too.
Yeah. Okay. So the 2020 Shelby Mustang GT 500. Both those cars, awesome looking cars. That's gonna be your classic muscle. Last time we were at the auto show, we had the Steve McQueen,
the Bullet
Mustang. Yeah, and it was beautiful. There was a huge crowd around it. It was actually probably a bigger crowd around that than there was against the Ford GT, which I finally saw on the road for the first time the other day. So yeah, I mean it's a good car. I think everyone's going to be really excited to see it. I'm excited to see it in person. I'm excited to get footage for you guys to show you. Obviously, we're probably not going to be able to be in these cars.
If you guys get
outside.
The Mustang Shelby GT 500 is suspended from the ceiling.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Upside down?
I don't think so.
Obviously, probably won't be able to get in that one unless I lose even more weight.
And climb the scaffold.
Yeah, well, I'll just jump.
Yeah.
I've got a pretty good vertical.
Yeah, I bet.
Back in Nam, they used to just hover the choppers overhead about 8 feet high, and I'd just hop right up in. You should have seen the look on Charlie's face. Not the enemy, the pilot, Charles.
What was that from?
Scrubs.
That sounds very familiar.
Okay, so real quick, back to the Supra.
Okay, good.
What I was remembered from what I was reading is it is going to be able to be swapped with the 2JZ. So if you get the 4-cylinder version, it'll be bolt-on basically with the 2JZ engine. So the big thing about the 2JZ engine, like I said, completely cast iron block, so it can take that heat and withstand that heat, but also it's a solid. There's no weight reduction in the cores or anything like that. Some newer engines right now have different cutouts to just I don't know why they are. I'm not the engineer in this group, but they have those cutouts. So
assuming weight
or
weight knocking, things like that. Oh yeah.
So but the Ford Mustang is really cool. I haven't seen any pictures of it. Does it follow the same? Did they revamp the body style, overhaul it or anything?
Not really.
Pictures after the
whatever
auto show, Drew. Tune in next week.
Tune in into the video.
Yeah.
2020. Yeah, and while we talk about that real quick, while you are looking up a picture. So next week, guys, we're trying to stick to a 3-week schedule or 3 times a month recording schedule for you. So we are going to possibly not have a episode next week, but we will try to do some either live streams when me and Josh are at the auto show, or we'll try to do maybe a small episode of just talking about it or something.
Say even Wednesday night while Josh is driving, Dale and I, if you've got the time set aside, Dale, we can do a SNS games night or something.
Exactly. So, but it won't be a legit episode. It'll just be some extra content for you guys.
Yeah.
So just FYI, continue on.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
So we're pulling up. Oh, it's already got pictures of it suspended at the auto show because I forgot press is already there. So
yeah, press day today. Today, Wednesday, and then I think yesterday it was there too. If not yesterday, then it was.
It's actually only suspended like 5 feet off the ground.
Oh, I haven't seen it. My coworker actually went to it and saw like them raise it or saw it put them up there or something.
Looks like maybe it's a little higher than that. Looks like there's a stage underneath it though.
Yeah, I think they might remove the stage.
Oh wait, backdropped.
Oh, is it a backdrop?
It's like that's like the windows or something.
Yeah, here you guys.
Sorry, we were just looking. It looks like it's backdropped, so I can't tell if there's a.
It's probably on the second floor, backdropped with the like the windows of the city, or like the windows to outlook the city. But also those look fake. So I don't know.
I think it's a fake backdrop. Detroit
But
doesn't
anyway.
look that clean.
So it's gonna be really cool.
It's like every scene in Batman, like the Tim Burton ones.
Yeah. Okay. So, but anything else you want to say about that?
No, I'm really excited to get on to my favorite part of Sexy News now every week, and that's asking
For
Dale.
the last 2 weeks, or
Yep.
for the last 1 week.
That's asking Dale his pop culture illiteracy question. I don't know what that was supposed to be.
Yeah, I don't know. All right. So,
Me shuddering at the thought. So,
are you gonna ask it?
oh yeah, I'm gonna ask it because
Okay.
I like asking Dale stuff. Since I get to be stumped, it's always nice to see if I can try to stump Dale. So, Dale's question of the week: this mad scientist in the cult classic Rocky Horror Picture Show is played by Tim Curry. Name that scientist.
Oh my God! So, Tim Curry's the actor.
Tim Curry's the actor.
Oh my God!
So you're looking for the character he plays in the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
And the character's a doctor.
Technically.
Yes.
I have
Not part
never seen that movie. My cousins love that movie, so they definitely talk about it often.
Dale, do you want to use your phone a friend?
No. I am going to say
I'll give you a hint. It is. You can also get this at a ballpark.
a ballpark.
Yes.
Really bad hint, but
That's a great.
I mean,
hint.
it's a great hint if you know the answer. It's a really bad hint because now he's thinking, he's like,
home
a
plate.
home run, or
I'm thinking food. That's what I'm thinking.
I mean, it is food.
Doctor Sausage. I don't know.
Oh my god. so the fact
Okay,
that you
hold on.
said that,
Don't say Wiener Schnitzel.
it's right up there though. What's another word for like sausage?
Kielbasa.
Here's another one.
Keep going. Think Americanized.
Frankfurt
Close, yes. So Dr. Frank
and Stein.
Franken.
Wiener.
It's Dr. Frankenfurter. That's what we're looking for.
It's actually just Frankfurter.
Yeah. Frankenfurter.
The ballpark Frank.
That is a no. I have never seen that movie.
So that's the
That was
first.
first part of that question. Here's a little shot at redemption. Do you know what the signature dance is of the Rocky Horror Picture Show?
The can.
No. Let's do the time warp again.
No.
Just a
Jump to the left,
No.
and then a step to the right. Aye.
No.
Well.
It was the fact that you were like Dr. Sausage. I was like, holy crap. That's
Close.
really close.
No, that is did not get that. What was it? Frankenwiener?
Frankenfurter.
Frankenfurter.
So it's Frank
Sure.
N. Furter.
Okay. Well, I didn't get that one.
I think it's supposed to be a play on, obviously, Frankenstein.
Yeah. I was thinking that the whole time, but like you said, ballpark, and I was like, ballpark Franks, but I would never have gotten Frankenfurter.
That's why I was like the ballpark thing was a good hint. Like, and people are like, oh,
But even with the hint, I still wouldn't have got it.
Yeah. It's just, so I asked somebody else who had never seen the Rocky Horror Picture Show before, but so unfortunately in our crowd of friends, even if you haven't seen it, like the fact that Dr. Frankenfurter has come up multiple times in conversations, I'm sure of. So it's just something that pop culture news. And now you know, Dale. And now we can go watch the Rocky Horror Picture Show at some point in time.
Nice. So in nerdy news today, we're gonna get some really cool things going.
Some
quickies out of the way for our nerdy news. So with a lot of the movie news we've been talking about comes the big news that has kind of been the talk of the town for the last couple months, is the Fox and Disney merger. But because of what's happening in our political climate right now, mergers like those have been slowed down. And Josh, what is that basically come down to?
Yeah, well, so because right now with the partial government shutdown, we're seeing a lot of either just no departments open or just really limited staff, essential staff, to things like the FTC, the FCC,
the TSA.
TSA is one of them. So a lot of these government organizations that don't have a lot of stuff. I mean, the TSA is actually furloughed people in, so they're actually being forced to work without pay.
No, I know.
But like with the FTC, the EPA is another one that's kind of struggling, and then the FDA is another one that's really worrying.
Hold on, real quick about the EPA. I work in emissions at Ford, and so we're trying to get a bunch of stuff passed for different things we need to get stuff like signed off on, and we can't because the EPA is closed. Well, there's still people there, but it's like very, very slowed down.
Yep, and that's kind of the gist of all this. Like, I mean, like it's not like we don't have a Food and Drug Administration anymore doing tests.
It's just like
that we have like one person to inspect all of the meat plants in the United States, and then we're like, oh, why did this E. coli get slipped through here again? Like I thought we had this nipped in the bud last time. And especially, so I heard, and this is not related at all, a case of bubonic plague in, I think it was like Seattle, in a cat. So I don't remember. I forgot where it was. I thought it was on the West Coast, so I wasn't too worried. But yeah, so government shutdown affecting things like the Federal Trade Commission, the FTC, which is affecting major trade deals in some of our tech and movies. So the Fox Disney merger, which was slated to be completed by the end of March, still might get done by March because obviously it had a lot going for it before the government shutdown, but we could see this actually affecting our Marvel movies with the Fox Disney merger because that can't complete while the FTC's shut down, or it's going to be very slow and delayed while it's shut down. The other thing that I've seen kind of have a screeching halt to it is the T-Mobile Sprint merger. We've seen a lot of slowdowns on that because of the federal government shutdown. But in other news, just today here in Omaha was announced that First Data was being purchased by a company, Fiserv. And with that, again, all those mergers and buyouts have to be approved by the FTC before they can go through. It's just really weird that like companies would agree to do all these things in the middle of a government shutdown, knowing full well that it could delay things. And I think we're probably going to see some really a market effect here in the stock market as well for things like that because of the insecurity of these mergers not being able to go through when they're supposed to. So it's really interesting to see how things like a government shutdown can affect some of our nerd stuff on the back end for things like that. So
well,
I just kind of wanted to talk about it. Just post that out. I don't think anyone's talking about how the FTC and the Disney Fox thing, like we were looking for news to see if we could find any updates.
Well, and that goes, I mean, that affects people's jobs aside from like the FTC. You have to deal with them for, any kind of stock investments or anything like that. So that could even affect non-federal employees. Like if nobody's able to trade or make, very little trades, within the company or, within their personal investments, then that's going to stop people. Like there's going to be less, need for people right now, at least at this point in time, to be at their jobs. I used to work for an investment firm, so I can't imagine being there now and being like, oh yeah, nobody's calling in, so you have to like.
And like in Dale's job too, like I mean, like they can't. Like eventually, they're not going to be able to get a lot of stuff passed by regulations because there's nobody in the EPA to be like, oh yeah, we sign off on this.
So they're like, okay, well, we only need 4 of you to do emission stuff because, or I don't know how many people are in. We need 1/3 of you to do emission stuff.
Yeah. So
the rest of you go home because we can't do anything until we can do stuff.
Yeah.
So,
and then you also see things with that. What was the thing that we were, oh, dang it, I can't remember what it was. The Freedom of Information Act is actually handled by the FTC. So when we want to get the courts to give us some information that's going on in the federal government, that department's just closed. Like you can email those guys and say, hey, I wanted to get this information on this bill that's being passed. I would like the information on that.
There ain't nobody that's answering those emails.
Yeah, the FTC is just not doing it. So like now we're actually getting suppression of some information that we don't have a government agency allowing us to get that information anymore. So it's also for problems like that is another thing that's coming out too. But let's kind of move on here because this wasn't our main nerdy topic. We got some other quickie things. So Dale,
also the the bubonic plague was in a Wyoming cat in Wyoming. Yep, and third infection in 6 months.
I'm sorry?
Third infection in 6 months.
Wow. I looked up a map, and it scared the shit out of me because there was like a bunch of red dots all over the western.
Yeah, but that's over the past 20 years. So, or actually, that map since 1970. So that one's...
I didn't look at it. Like, all I saw was the image, and I was like,
That's scary. So next topic here we wanted to dive into was graphics cards. Me and Drew have been focusing on purchasing graphics cards or updating our computers or whatnot.
Yeah, especially in the last month or so.
Mine's already awesome.
Yours is pretty cool, especially when it just sits and gathers dust.
Yeah. We played the other day though.
Did you?
Yeah, we played StarCraft once.
StarCraft's free right now, isn't it? Like it's free.
Oh, I don't know.
Isn't StarCraft
I think the first one is free. You still have to pay for extra stuff. Like there's a free version of StarCraft 2, I believe.
Anyway,
but NVIDIA, what I was looking for, I was looking for not the new, but I was looking for the what?
It's NVIDIA without the I.
NVIDIA? Yeah. NVIDIA?
No.
NVIDIA.
That's an N.
Someone's going to be like...
Somebody's going to tweet at us.
Actually, NVIDIA, not NVIDIA.
Yeah, it's NVIDIA. It's basically...
Well, it's spelled wrong. NVIDIA, the GTX 10 series...
is not silent, but it's see-through.
It's NV.
Yeah, it's NVIDIA. Anyway, go ahead. NVIDIA GTX 10.
The 10 series, the older generations... NVIDIA created a ton of stuff for the cryptocurrency 2008 boom that we had about half a year ago. And so they had a massive oversupply, and it is almost gone. So all the older 2018 stuff, that would be the cheaper stuff, is all gone. So NVIDIA is now going to push for their RTX 20 series, which is the high-end stuff, or possibly they're going to come out with a GTX 11 series. Nothing said right now about the 11 series, but it is something interesting about that. Hopefully in the next few days here, the price might come down a little bit.
Oh, Dale, can you, how much does the turnover go between each 10th? I guess what it would be. So that you got like the GTX 900 series, and then they do like 920, 960, 940. So what's the turnover in time frame from when they switch to one of those? Do they do a new?
No, they still create newer generations of that. So like I have a GTX 745 OEM in my computer right now.
Yeah.
And it's new. I mean, it's in the past 2 years whenever I got the computer. Actually, I don't know how old it is. But they still make other models. They just increase the number slightly, or they make it specifically for an OEM.
Okay, so the 970 is not complete. Like mine's a NVIDIA GTX 970 or a GeForce GTX 970.
Yeah, they're just increasing the RAM, or upgrading the RAM, or upgrading the speed at which it processes.
So I could in theory buy a 970 in a year, and it would be brand new. They would have produced it still. Is that what you're?
Yes. I don't know. I mean, I don't know that specific model, but yes.
Because I'm just saying, because like I feel like the 500 series and the 700 series are starting to be obviously pretty obsolete, since I was running a 500 series and was not able to run Overwatch very quickly.
Well, exactly. It's that things are becoming better and better, and so I don't want to say standard. They're not going to increase the capacity of the what do you say, 9860 you have?
I have the 970.
The 970. They're not going to increase the capacity of 970 or the speed at which the 970. All they're going to do is increase the way they fix it, or the power supply they might not need. They're not going to try to make something better if it works fine.
Yeah.
So the point is that is a staple. So there's no reason to make it better because there's already better.
Well, I was just under the assumption, or I was just under the impression that, they produced the 900 series from 2017 to 2018, and then they produced the 1000 series from 2018 to 2019, and then
no, it's requirements of the computer. So they still create the 700, maybe even the 600 series, but then eventually demand will go down for the 600 because it's almost obsolete. And they'll eventually phase it out or turn it off if they haven't already. And then the 700 will slowly fade out, and the 800, and then the 900, and so on.
I mean, I know that obviously the number gets bigger as the better the hardware gets. But I didn't know how. I guess they how the manufacturing related to the time frame.
As our file sizes are getting bigger, our media is getting more. There's more information for every piece of media we put up there right now. So you are seeing, computers, the standard RAM in a computer's now probably, I'm going to say 4 is a good, medium laptop that you're going to be buying, and computer. 4 gigs of RAM is probably the
8 is almost obsolete.
I was going to say,
I honestly at Walmart right now, there's not a single computer that has 8 gigs of RAM. They're all 4. And then some of them have like Optane.
Yeah, but how much is the price though for it?
$300-$400.
Yeah, that's the point. They're made to be. You get on YouTube. You get on.
That's what I'm saying. That's the average computer, Dale. That's.
Oh, okay.
Obviously, Walmart wouldn't be selling it if it wasn't the average computer. I mean, there is like the gaming laptops that do have. They start at 8, 16 gigs.
Yeah, but I have in this machine 32.
Yep, same here.
So I mean, you would need to have at minimum 16 in order to do anything.
Well, I mean,
anything game-wise, but I'm saying in the average computer right now.
No, you said video editing and content creation.
No, I didn't. I said in the average computer.
We'll play it back later. But
so what you're going to need to I took this picture on my iPhone and I want to upload it to Facebook. That picture you took on your iPhone now is 27 to 300 megabytes worth of picture. I mean, it's a huge image file now because of all the stuff that's in the actual photo.
Yep.
So to move that photo, to render that photo, to even hey, I'm going to crop this out, you need a PC that's going to run, 4 gigs of RAM, things like that, even just to do that at a snail's pace. So, I mean, you're seeing that kind of be the standard. And I do see still, the GTX 900s, the 700s in those computers because they don't need that. I mean, that's what they're made for. Someone's checking Facebook and getting on YouTube. A guy today wanted, the guy's like, oh, my son wants to create YouTube videos. Which one of these could he do? And I'm just like, you can run an 8th gen i3 processor, but with 4 gigs of RAM, that's really going to be your killer. You need to go higher if you're going to be making YouTube videos than that.
Yes, I was going to say, I've seen a lot of junky processors, old processors that do well with a nice new video card as long as it's compatible. So, and
I mean, honestly, unless you're doing like analytics or anything to do with actual data processing, a GPU runs your computer half the time.
Yeah.
Especially with video editing, gaming, anything to do with anything like a workhorse, your GPU is it. Now, like right now, I'm running like I said, a 745, I think, in my computer right now.
Is that the only card you have?
I think so. I'm not exactly sure.
Well, I mean, you have your typically you have an onboard, your motherboard graphics, but
yeah, I don't think I have that. I don't think I have an onboard one. I don't have access to it. I don't have a separate VGA port to access.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all based. It's all connected into the PCI 3 Express.
Okay.
Well, once I get my taxes back, I'm going to have my Vive HTC, and we're going to start.
We're not doing VR.
VR.
We're not doing VR.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
Okay, you guys can all day long.
You can pick up on our Vive.
So my thing is, my room right now, like I have a 9 by 11, 10 by 11, something like that. It's a very small room. I am sweating all the time if I have my door closed, and I close it for the recording right now, and it is just hot as hell in here because my computer's just popping out heat. I close my vent. I crack my window sometimes. I'm nervous to get something like a 1080, 1060, 1070.
I mean, what kind of fan flow do you got?
Just basic.
Oh,
you should try sleeping in that room.
If you can get on Amazon and buy 5 nice like LED adjustable flow fans. They have the Molex or the 3-pin fan slot, and just get your flow going in the one end and out the other. And that's what. So mine. I think that's what happened when this girl ditched this computer, is that it overheated and shut down because she only had one fan in it.
So I have a temperature gauge that I watch sometimes when I bring up my. It's an MSI app that you can download, and it gives me like the good setting. Never goes above good. I think it's like at like 95 degrees Celsius, and it never goes above that, or degrees Fahrenheit. I don't know what it is, but it's just constantly doing that heat when I'm processing or playing a game, and so it's going to be more heat, and I don't know if I want to do that.
The fans actually dissipate some of the heat when it blows it out into the room. It's cool. It's cooling that off. So it definitely, it's still going to produce the same amount of heat, but it's not going to be just emanating from your PC. You're going to be blowing it around. It's going to be that way, and you can get you can't hear any of my fans. So, and I even have one fan set.
I have loud fans.
That one you can.
Oh yeah, that one you can.
Mine's loud.
But that's also mostly because you can hear the spin drive. You can hear the.
No, I'm computer literate. I'm just not I don't build my own things. Are we still using classic aluminum heat exchanges on the motherboards and stuff like that?
Are you talking about the heat sinks and stuff?
Yeah. Well, your heat sink is a heat exchanger.
Yeah.
So are they still?
Well, so mine's got you can do liquid cool, or you can do like you said, the aluminum, and then typically a lot of them come with fans built in or
fans on top.
My old one was a huge radiator. You remember seeing that thing in the side of my computer? It looked like a V8 engine. Came out like this, and then it had 2 big radiators on the side on each side. And I mean, that thing, my computer never got above 60 degrees because that nice heat sink.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If your fan's just blowing air across that heat sink, that's really all you need.
So I believe I do not have a fan on top of it. I just have the normal fan that brings the air in.
Yeah, because I remember that so one of the things, and this is kind of nerdy that I watch video game teardowns, people tear down systems, and one of the things that made the GameCube
Metal Jesus
so
rocks
good was the fact that the fans were able to switch between intake and output
So they
on
they
either
were,
side of the heat exchange, which was underneath on the very bottom there.
Mhm.
So they could literally, like,
Suck
if it's
in,
too
right?
hot on the inside, both of them could both expel air out. If you needed to get cold air from outside in, like, it would just turn one of them this way. And then if it was too hot coming from that side, they'd switch it and go back the other way. And so they could get like this breathing simulator down.
That's actually really cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and it's never been done since, and it hasn't been done before. Like, I mean, it was really weird, and it only worked. I mean, I'm assuming because the GameCube was set up in such the cube structure, and it was a very densely packed piece of machine, whereas things now.
Those micro discs were like the coolest thing back then. All right, so we got to move on here. We're gonna push our things. So the NVIDIA is probably gonna push the RTX 20 series or possibly the GTX 11.
Damn you, cryptocurrencies, which we talked about last year.
But check that out. Dale and I will probably if you do upgrade that, I wish I would have done it for ours, but do a build video. Like, I mean, to just like when you take it apart or whatever.
Yeah.
If you upgrade any of that stuff, just do a small build video. This week in sciencey news, blind science,
Blinded by
science.
See if we sing it, and we can't get in trouble.
Yeah.
So this is a topic that I chose, and the reason I chose it, Josh, because this was
last week's topic that Dale thought about.
Yeah.
So I was like, we'll just use that.
This was my worst subject in physics. So it was like one of the last things I learned, and I never got it down. So I'm going to be reading a lot of this. So, yeah.
Sweet.
Do you want me to answer it, Josh or Drew? Or do you want to do it?
So I guess I don't know how you want to phrase the question or what's the correct way to phrase it. So I'll have to have you ask it.
Okay. Josh, what is a throttle?
I'm not entirely sure, like, what you mean a throttle.
What is a mechanism called throttle? What is it used for in physics? It usually is the term throttle is used to represent something happening.
All I can think of throttle wise is like when we're talking about like engine throttles.
Yep, that works too.
Like that. Okay.
What does it do in an engine?
Well, from what I'm assuming the throttle in the engine does, okay. So thermodynamics class, thinking back here, your throttle it's going to change one of the variables in your engine. So your engine's going to need a fuel source, air intake, and essentially a compression. So your throttle could probably change. I mean, you could design throttles to do one of those three, to either adjust air intake, which is going to change your compression and your.
So word that in a basic term.
Well, I mean, I wasn't even done. I was going to say that you can either.
You're on the right track.
I mean, it's a limiter in a sense. So it's a limiter of a variable in a device, I think, is a throttle.
I'm looking for a specific word you're using. You're really on the right track. That variable, what is that variable? If it's gasoline, if it's air.
Like it's a component variable?
No.
Man, I'm trying to think. Limit on it's a.
Man,
Are we thinking like independent, dependent variables here then? Or
no, we're thinking more of what does air and water have in common?
Elemental. Oxygen.
Both are considered what?
Fluids. So it's a fluid variable.
A throttle is a mechanism by which fluid flow is managed by the constriction or obstruction.
Fluid management system.
So and then in an engine, that's either going to be your fuel line, your air, or your actual and that's the other thing. Like I feel like you could actually throttle like the actual combustion, like your the apparatus that's moving within your engine. Like you could essentially throttle an axle by putting like a friction brake on it to throttle how much compression you're going to get.
Well, so in
an
engines, the pistons, there are variable delays in pistons for like when cars have turbos or what is it? Fuel injected engines. The pistons, when they move, they basically stutter at a point, which is throttles the air compression in it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and I was just going super basic Carnot engine
for sure
on that because so a limiter for a fluid variable, I guess.
Yep. That's pretty much what it is. My problem was more.
Was that the subject that you were doing that in? Or
yeah, it was like the last class of thermodynamics.
That is literally my worst physics class. No, take it back. E&M was my worst physics class I ever took. Electricity and magnetism.
I didn't have any. I didn't have any. I had one electricity class, and that was it.
Yes, thanks. It was a lot. I think it was more of it wasn't like a lack of understanding with E&M. It was more of I didn't like the mathematical notation we were using because I was used to, vector notation, and they didn't want vector notation. They wanted, like we were supposed to, put it in a matrix form or do it in
an array.
Yeah,
like that shit.
It wasn't even array. It was it's what you do in special relativity. I can't remember what it is even called anymore.
Hydroplane.
But it made it a lot easier to do your special relativity equations came out a lot easier if you didn't use vector notation, if you used a different type of notation. I can't remember what it was, but the teacher was like, do not do it your way, do it my way. And I was like, I can't remember it your way. So no. And then I just always failed every exam.
All right, guys, we have to raise the stakes of this.
Exactly the same thing. I swear to God. Exact same thing. I would literally, and this was the stupidest thing, I would do everything in component form. It made sense to me. I would break it down into X, Y, Z, and then I would do the math, and then I'd put it back into vector form, put it into some other form you wanted to, because I knew how to take matrices, put them into vectors, and then figure out the math, and then put it back into matrices. And he's like, "You did it wrong." No, I didn't. Is the answer wrong?
Same final answer.
It took me twice as long to do, but I did it right.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna raise the stakes here. What are we going to do at the end of the year for the loser of this?
Oh crap! We didn't even talked about that, Drew. I'm already losing, so it's got to be.
I know. It's
got to be something Dale's okay with.
I was kind of waiting for the time when it I thought we would kind of stay at this even plateau for maybe a couple episodes.
No, I didn't know anything about Rocky Horror.
So we'll have to talk about that. We're gonna have some loser consequence.
If you guys have any suggestions of what we should,
if you guys have any suggestions, toss them on the video.
It's gonna be someone's face on a T-shirt until we all have one.
Yeah.
Oh man. So next thing
I know Kelsey Kardashian.
Kelsey, was it Kelsey Kardashian?
Kelsey Kardashian.
Get Dale in a wig and makeup and Kelsey Kardashian him.
No, people. That would be way too un-PC though because
that's true.
Caitlin. So anyway,
I don't know how to science. It's just a picture of me.
All right, so we're gonna get into this Windows 10 news here. The 19H1. The H1N1 update.
I was going to say it sounds like a flu virus, but it's a Windows update.
So most people don't know how to word updates. Most people are like, oh, it's 1.0 or it's the 1.2 or something like that. Most updates are the year, then usually some letter or something in the middle, and then the first generation of that.
Yeah.
So this is the Windows 10 19H1 update. It's a big update for Windows 10, doing a lot of, I don't want to say it's overhauling, but it's a lot of
streamlining.
A lot of streamlining, I would say. A lot of things that people have wanted, have voiced their opinion, and Microsoft has listened.
New year, new Windows. That's funny. All right, so blow through these real quick.
Yep. So the first thing is called sandbox mode. If you've ever watched those videos online of people calling scammers from India or some other country, and they're like, oh, you have to connect me to your computer because your computer is broken, connect us, give me money, all that stuff. Well, a lot of people actually want the scammers to call them so they can kind of screw with them. So what they do is they actually make a virtual computer on their machine so they can have the scammer connect to that computer, and then kind of take over the scammer's computer. It's a big thing on YouTube. Check it out. But one of the things they're doing in sandbox mode is they're actually allowing you to have a virtual computer on your computer already to install programs or to test things out if you're not sure of them. So like, ever get that thing on Google, on the Gmail, it says, oh, we're not sure about this file. You can put it on there if it's from an source you're not familiar with, and then you can put it on there, open it up, and if it gives you a problem, you can close it, and then it's good. So I really like that.
A virtual partition, or is it a full partition?
It's not a partition at all. That's the issue. That's the thing. It's a virtual machine.
Oh, that's cool. So you can just open up like a program?
Like a program, yep.
Oh, that's really neat.
And I don't know that much about it. We'll find out more on January 23rd. But that's one feature of it.
I just got my internet. Oh, it hasn't come out yet completely.
No, it hasn't even come out. It's rolling out on January 23rd. So you'll probably see it in the next few weeks. Next thing is, if you ever searched on Windows 10, you can clearly see a little circle on the little search bar. That is Cortana. Every time you click on the search bar, you have Cortana. No one uses Cortana. I've never used it, at least. I deactivate it as soon as I turn on the machine, or turn on my computer for the first time. I
actually started to use it.
So
with the mic in front of my face,
nobody likes it, and so they made Cortana and searching two separate things. You can make them one thing if you want to in the settings, but now they're two separate things.
Nice.
So that's one thing. And then the last thing that I thought was mentioning, there's a lot of other stuff. I'm going to post it down below. But there's a new light skin mode, so you can make everything. Most people actually like the dark skin mode and everything. That's what my screens are. But now there's a light skin mode, so you can. If you ever remember the Windows XP, everything was kind of transparent. A lot of people had to download like external themes in order to get that. So now this is a legit theme that they're going to have.
So basically, your taskbar or your header bars for your internet, Windows and everything like that.
Yep.
Mine, you can set the color for mine.
Yep.
And you can close the transparency, but I can do literally all the colors of the rainbow. So it's like I can even do white. So I don't know, maybe it's just a preset. That's all? I mean,
maybe Cortanas are now separate. New apps thing that says now you can uninstall several apps like Inbox and a few other things.
Nice.
Which I hate some of these apps.
Yeah, me too.
Microphone is now present in the bottom, which whatever symbol's now available on your keyboard.
Microphone, like the speaker.
Yeah,
that's going to be helpful for me specifically.
Windows Shell is what they're calling it. A new light theme is available, which turns the taskbar, start menu, and other areas of the Windows Shell white.
Oh, that stuff is always dark. So when you open up the start menu, it's dark color, and then the button you click on is your accent color.
Yeah.
But that's always been a dark color.
Okay, so I'm gonna share a video. I don't know if people will be able to see it or not, but that's a small picture for us. It's just a lighter screen.
I mean, it's basically, Twitter and everything and Discord had dark mode added recently. So Windows is just doing the adverse.
Yep.
So next bit is
but that's rolling on January 23rd. I already said that.
Yeah. Next bit here is some Samsung news. So we'll blow through this real quick, and then we'll be on our way. But do you want to talk about this this first one, and then we can kind of follow through? I don't know if the last bit is kind of falls in between.
The last bit does kind of fall in between that.
That's fine. We can do that.
So I'll just go through the legit things Samsung has come out with and said, and we'll go from there. So Samsung Galaxy S10 is hopefully being revealed next month at a Samsung, what is it called when they have a keynote? Samsung keynote. And then obviously it'll come out in March, and you'll have the phone and all that stuff. But my phone is recently broken, so I've been kind of paying attention to the Samsung S10, S10X is what they're going to call the bigger version. So the Samsung Galaxy 10X will have a new 6.7-inch screen, be the first phone to support 5G on all the networks. It will have 6 cameras in total. It'll have an what?
6 cameras. Do we know, like, where? I mean, is it
4 cameras on the rear, 2 in front?
Yep. Just probably like the LG ThinQ has 5 cameras on the back right now.
Yeah.
Squeeze.
The Samsung Galaxy 10X will have an in-display fingerprint sensor. It'll have a this part is don't know for 100%, but most likely a 5,000 milliamp hour battery. And then it'll have 10 gigabytes of RAM, and probably it'll top out at a terabyte of storage.
Huh.
Pretty impressive numbers in my case.
This is still rumor season, by the way. So
Yeah.
It is still rumor season.
You would see from Apple, in July, late June. This is just rumors that are coming up before the phone announces in August, September. Same kind of thing happens with Samsung every month or so before the new Samsung comes out. I get people all the time like, "Oh, did you hear the S10 is going to have this?" And I was like, "Did you hear that that's a load of garbage? Because Samsung didn't even say that yet."
Dale. Yeah, you made it.
Sorry. So some of these things are some people confirmed by Samsung itself, and that's why I've said some things, but some things are rumors. Everything I said right there should be what we expect. If it's less than what we expect, it's almost like a letdown. Not because of it's the next iteration.
I was gonna say, even the milliamp hour, 5,000 milliamp hours on that battery. I mean, that's speculation at this point still, right?
That one is, yeah.
And part of the reason why that's the thing is one of my news things for Samsung is a lot of people have been talking about this, and it's something that, again, the FTC can kind of control, is patents. So Samsung has a lot of different patents on different technologies. In fact, Dale kind of mentioned a rumor there that was based off of one of the patents that Samsung holds. So right now, Samsung holds a patent on some variable screens. So right now they said they can create a screen that acts as a full speaker. So the entire screen is also a speaker, which would be incredibly amazing for true, 3D stereo sound coming from a phone. Having the screen be in the speaker is one of those things. And then the touch through the screen, like Dale was talking about for like fingerprint ID, that is something that is kind of not on the phones right now. But it's a technology that Samsung could probably do if they wanted to. Another one being a graphite-based battery instead of a lithium-ion-based battery. The graphite batteries are going to have, if you do a graphite hybrid, you're going to be able to do some similar things. So right now, the supercapacitor that's in your Galaxy Note 9 S Pen is able to charge that full entire pen in 10 seconds inside, 5 seconds inside the phone, can charge it for 30 minutes worth of charge. And it's done through a supercapacitor that uses a graphite technology in it. Samsung has rumored their battery to also be able to have a quick charge time.
This is rumor. This is from Rumor Mill.
Yeah.
It was a graphene ball coating that can be used inside the regular lithium-ion cells to increase battery capacity up to 45% and decreasing charge time by 5% or 5 times.
Yeah.
It can also have a higher capacity, therefore longer lasting. These batteries will be able to do full charge in 10 or 12 minutes. There's no like
Is that the same technology that they were using when those other phones exploded, or
no? That was all lithium-ion.
Yeah.
Were they testing that out?
I don't think they were
maybe
testing it out, but it's one of those things that Samsung has these patents.
One more thing: maintain stability up to 60 degrees centigrade. Also, should prevent overheating. Go ahead, Dash.
Yep. So, and that was one of the things too. So the 5,000 milliamp hour battery. A lot of reasons why we're hearing rumors about that is because we're thinking that Samsung is going to use their patents in battery technology for some of their new phones coming out. So if any times to do it, this is essentially the signature model of the phone. Just like the Apple iPhone 10 was the 10-year anniversary of the iPhone. and they kind of dropped the ball a little bit on the 10 there. No, I mean, I love the phone. Don't get me wrong. I love my 10s Max even more. But it's one of those things where, you know, it wasn't enough. And I think the S10 is really going to try to do something where consumers that just got the 9 last year are going to want it, and consumers that got the 8 2 years ago are going to want it. Like, it's going to be a thing that people really want to drive their phone up from kind of like the S5, I think, was kind of the real big jumping point there.
I mean, my buddy got a 6. I told him, just don't get the 6, don't get the 7, go right to the 8. I was telling people that are waiting for the, like, I didn't get the 9. I'm waiting for the 10.
Yeah.
There's these been like revolutionary changes. We'll say big jump.
I was gonna say, we typically, I mean, like, I got the 10 when I upgraded, and then I switched it. But I mean, I jumped from the 6 to the 10, I jumped from the 6 Max to
but Josh has had every single phone.
And you know, however, but I jumped from the 6 to the 10, and then I jumped to the 10 Max or the 10s.
You had a 7.
Max. No, I didn't have a 7.
Sure?
The 7 was Tasha's.
You had a dual lens camera, and that was on the 7 Plus. You went from 7 Plus to 10.
Okay, still a big jump.
I went from 6 to 8, and then 8 to 10.
Yeah, that's what it was. 6 to 8, 8 to 10. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So anyway, next bit here is moving from phones, but staying within Samsung. Samsung just this last week announced their second gen wall TV, and they announced the 146 inch wall TV back in June of 18. It's self-emissive micro LED TV, and that is like a huge, I mean, 146 inches is similar to projection style TVs. So with this one, this new one, they've announced that it's a modular TV. So think irregular configurations, think any size, any shape, basically. They kind of have like a puzzle piece in the promo for it. So it's irregular, but it's really neat. And then they have a modest size of a 75 inch, which they call the window, and same micro LEDs. Supposed to be a clear.
Is it the QLEDs?
Nope, it's micro LEDs.
Interesting.
So
that's another patent that Samsung has. That
the QLED.
Yeah.
So, but it's all configurable. So you can have a T shape, you can have a circle, and pull out the middle. But so the image is displayed across the maximum width and height of the screens. So you will get cut out there if you have a regular shape of some sort. But it's still pretty cool for signage or billboards or anything like that. You can kind of do something like that. But the maximum square inches is 219. The 146 inch one was said to have gone for like 50 or 60,000 in the June of last year. So the 219 inch one is upwards of probably 1,000 or 100,000, depending on what they actually charge for it. And then the 75 inch is only supposed to be like $8,000 TV. So
8,000.
Yeah. So but it's really neat. I was really excited that they have like that configurable TV. They say you can't see the seams from 3 or is it 5 foot or close or farther back. You can't really see the seams. So, but I mean, it's for larger. I would assume larger.
The Apple
images.
Store has something very similar to that, and I was curious as to, because I asked if it was a projector, and they said no, it was just a screen that was actually playing images like that. But it looked like.
But when you get up close, you can see
Like, it looks like you can see seams from like different screens all working in concert.
Well, and the wall TVs is literally just micro LEDs that shine that that image. So, I mean, you're not even looking at glass. I mean, from what I've read, you're not even looking at a glass lining. It's literally just all LED.
Yeah.
So,
we're getting one step closer to like LED paint.
Yeah,
where we can
pretty much. I mean, and
paint
it's supposed to be,
and
it's supposed to be pretty thin too. Like, I think they said 8 millimeters or something like that thin. Each panel is 8 millimeters thin, so it's getting pretty crazy out there. But that's all the time we have. Be sure to check out our Teespring. I want to jump at that again. Use the coupon code everybody to get free shipping on your order. And check out the Hey Everybody t-shirts. And
all the other fun stuff.
And all the other fun stuff. Get a pillow, get a diaper.
If you want to cuddle Drew's face on a Hey Everybody pillow, we'll get it done.
Yeah. So, but thanks for listening, and we'll catch you guys next week. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in to Sexy Nerd Science Season 5.
Make sure to like us and subscribe on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter.
Don't forget to check out our merch on Teespring and support us on Project Nerd Patreon at patreon.com/projectnerd.